Now today we're replacing the faulty fuel level sensor on my Audi S4. I did shoot a previous video ultimately showing the malfunction, how I got access to everything. So this is the complete process from beginning to end. Now in a separate video, I've already shown on how to remove this locking flange. I've already disconnected the negative terminal going to the battery, and now we can start disconnecting some lines here. And once again, I'm using a trim removal tool. These are terrific. I show them all the time. As always, I'll have a link in the description box below. You just press in the tab, you'll see a white tab. You press in that tab, and then just rotating this off. Second one here, and then one right here. Okay. Now this is a universal removal tool for this coupling. Let me show you how this works. I'll link this in the description box below in case you want to purchase this for the job that you're doing. I think it's necessary. Some people don't use this, but let me show you what we're tackling with. Now you'll notice that we have two notches in this adapter. And the whole point behind this is so it fits nice and snug on the coupling here. Now what some people will do is they don't want to spend the $20 or $25. They'll use a screwdriver and hammer it out counterclockwise. You can do that. There's a big risk. Number one, you're dealing with fuel. You don't want any sparks. That's the first thing. Secondly, if you somehow slip off of this plastic coupling and hit the EVAP line here or one of these vent lines, now you have to replace this whole line. And why even take the risk? So this is what I'm going to use. These are really tight, so I'll be using a breaker bar to break this loose. Okay, make sure that the tool is firmly on the coupling. Watch out for your plastic lines. Again, you don't want these to break. Okay, make sure you're nice and firmly on here. Take your time. There we go. Now the other thing to keep in mind when you do this job, you don't want a lot of fuel. I have roughly 1/8 of a tank. Now you may be thinking, well, when the sensor goes, you can't see the fuel level. What happened in my case is the sensor would go out and then it would kick back on. And then it would go out and kick back on. And it took roughly 2 weeks before it just quit altogether. So I know I have roughly 1/8 of a tank. Now it goes without saying, no cell phones, cigarettes, cigars. I even taped up the post on the battery. You want no sparks, have the fire extinguisher nearby just in case. I'm just marking up precisely where this lives, so when I reinstall it, it's that much easier. It's a little tricky to get this out. They don't give you a lot of room here, unfortunately. Okay, let's disconnect this stuff. Okay, just to show you what's happening, you press in the tab, and this comes out. You're pressing in, and then rotate the plier up, and this rod will come out. Place some cardboard. You don't want anything falling in that tank, and then there's a gasket that we just need to remove and replace. Now removing the old sensor is easy enough, one of the few easy things on this vehicle. You have two plastic tabs, just pressing down and then pulling out the sensor. And then of course compare the old part with the new part. Regarding cost, the sensor alone is $150 along with all of the gaskets and the plastic couplings. Everything was a touch under $200. So just installing the new sensor and then make sure it clips in. And then I'm just going to route and zip tie, just like the old part, the wiring to this metal rod, and we're almost done. Now this is the bottom of the brand new locking flange. Just take a picture before you remove the old one so you have an exact location of where the new one belongs. It's a little tricky, just take your time. Okay, now I need to get the gasket, and this gasket lives right below the coupling here. So I've reinstalled the plastic locking nut. This tool is huge. Without this, it would be very, very difficult. So Well worth the $25. I've reattached the vent lines, and then I just need to attach the cover with the gasket. Okay, just black gasket material. I'm just going to wrap everything up off camera, and then we'll double check and make sure that the sensor is working. Okay, here we go. Now last time I was showing no miles, so now I see 60.25 of a tank roughly. So this is in working condition once again. I hope this helps a number of you out there. It's been enjoyable, and thank you for watching.